Get off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pei.
And welcome. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balance with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports Radio Station, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Audio.
Victor.
I had to take Stitcher out because I didn't even realize they're no longer there. So it's taking out my rhythm. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Music, iTunes, TuneIn, Podchaser, Podspreaker. A lot of platforms. Why so many? Because I want to maximize my splatter zone for more hope and happiness. So I have shows and topics and co-hosts who help me with that. And y'all know she's here in studio. And when she is, it's Wednesday. And our special series, Doctors in the House, with myself and
Dr. Tiffanie Tate.
I should not ask you to tell me anything because it's transferable. But anyways, I'll blame that on you. I am so grateful to have Dr. Tiffanie Tate, who is a licensed OBGYN out of Compton, California. She's a veteran in the Navy. She's a playwright, a songwriter, a singer, and a children's book author. And so y'all know this is a show that we double whammy the hope and happiness because of Dr. Tiffanie in studio with me. Welcome back to the show.
Always, always, always a pleasure to be here. I look forward to Wednesdays because I get to see your bright, sunshiny face.
Yay! And I appreciate that. And I accept and back at you. And we're going to start the show the way we usually do, which is take a bite of my gratitude sandwich. It's the morning breakfast good life habit, #Blisscipline, where top of the bun is things that we're grateful for outside of ourselves, and bottom of the bun is what we are grateful for inside of ourselves, otherwise known as appreciation. So, Dr. Tiffanie, what are you grateful for?
I am grateful for so many things. And basically, I'm grateful for artistry. And a lot of things happened over the past couple of weeks. I'm grateful for watching the Super Bowl halftime show. I really loved Kendrick Lamar's representation because he is straight out of Compton, just like me. I really enjoy. Yes, he is. He is straight out of Compton, just like me. I love Serena Williams doing her crib walk, straight out of Compton, just like me. That whole West Side representation. Yes, she is straight out of Compton. So there was a whole lot of West Side representation. West Side.
Well, I get to claim Snoop Dogg from Long Beach. So, but that's so cool. I didn't know that about either one of them. So, and he smack dab did the best. I mean, he was really good. I don't know if you saw my social. I was like doing my #dancing queen with him and a little adorable guy. So that was so fun. And yay, Philly.
Yes, I was very happy that the Philadelphia Eagles won. There was a lot of turmoil because Mark was for the other team. I'm not even going to mention their name. I'm just going to say the other team. So he was over there. I thought I was going to get kicked out of the house because I was at his home, but I did not hold my tongue. I'll put it that way.
So this was your brother, the one I went to Christmas with?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
yeah, I run the bets. I mean, I shouldn't say that aloud, but the last 9 years at a sober Super Bowl party, and so otherwise I would have been there with you because that would have been a lot of fun, I'm sure, and I would have helped balance it out a little more. But that team is my husband's favorite. So, um, yeah, anything to beat that team is a good thing. Ah, and welcome. We've got Cashew Gallery movement here. Gerald Wade is back to ask questions. He asked yesterday or on Monday what mental health matters means, and he's keeping up with his habit. So, what does doctors in the house mean? Dr. Tiffanie, why don't you field that one?
Well, I am a board certified OBGYN, so I am the MD, and Dr. Marissa is the PhD. So we are the two doctors in the house to help make your lives bigger and better, we hope, in a more meaningful way.
That's it. And you all know what PhD stands for, right? So BS is Bachelor of Science or Bull Shiitake. And then MS is Masters of Science or more Shiitake. And PhD is just piled higher and deeper. Da 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 da. I just drum rolled for the Phillies and knocked a glass thing off my table. I really need to get that sound effect. So hopefully that answers your question, Gerald. We're happy that you're here. We're having breakfast right now. What we're grateful for so far, we've got the Eagles, we've got Lamar, we've got Compton representation. I'm going to say that I am grateful that I get to play mahjong today. When I finish my work on Mondays and Tuesdays, I get to go play. And last week I kicked. So hopefully it continues this winning streak. Those of you who don't know what that is, it's one of the oldest tile games in Chinese. And as you can tell, this is the last day of the Lunar New Year celebration. So the last day I'm wearing red. Well, not last, but for this season, which is like I'm running out of things to wear Chinese. So I'm kind of glad it's the last day, but red signifies good fortune for this new year of the snake. So those of you who haven't watched that show, all that means is every 12 years, if you're any like if you're 12, 24, 36, 48 years of age or 60, that means you're a snake. If you're that age after January 29th this year, we go by the lunar calendar. It is a significant year of renewal, transformation, and growth, which is incredible. And we're watching it. So you can choose to see all the stuff that's going around right now in the news, which we don't talk about because it's all negative. But those who are lamenting this next 4 years can understand and hope and choose to see it as the year for transformation and renewal. Because when there's pain, there's growth. Where there's pain, there's chiseling. So I choose every day to see this next year as a year of, I can't wait to see what good comes out of this. And if we focus that way, it's going to be a very not fast, but transformational 4 years. So that's the good news. Let's go to the bottom of the button, which is, what do you like about yourself? And the reason I do that is I want you to weight train your self-care muscles, your ability to approve of yourself so you're not looking for likes literally on social media or love in all the wrong places. Dr. Tiffanie, what do you like about yourself?
I like the fact that I am able to stay in the background. And you may say, what does that mean? Because you're always up front. Well, I can be up front, but I can also be in a supportive role. And I am able to help uplift others and not always be in the front. And I like the fact that I know when to be up front, but I also know when to not be up front. And I think that that's important for everybody because we don't always need to take the limelight. And it's good to be a supportive person sometimes because everybody needs the limelight and it doesn't always have to be you.
That is not me.
Mhm.
And I'll blame it on, I appreciate my ability to have no fear and jump on whatever platform and stage is available. I thought it was because of, I don't know why. I thought maybe it was in response to being suppressed as a kid, but I think I was told that I'm a Leo in 5 planets by an astrologer who did the whole entire charts, and she told me that's the reason why I have to be in front, I have to be on camera, I have to be on top, I have to be talking. So we'll blame it on that, but I do appreciate that 88% of the time. Sometimes I should be in the back. I'm going to shit on myself. I should be in the background and I'm not. And I speak when I maybe could have been quiet, but that's only 12% of the time. And oh, well, I'm not perfect. So there you go. One more thing that you like about yourself.
And I like the fact that people often do seek me out to become a leader. And
Oh, I thought you
I
were going to say something else.
I don't know where you're going.
Mm.
But I appreciate the fact that people can appreciate my leadership skills.
Mm.
And I do like that fact about me because I can accept responsibility. And I don't mind being responsible when I want to be responsible, but I have to want to do it.
Absolutely. I appreciate my ability to learn new things and new skills. So last Friday night, I did my first paid gig of stand-up comedy, and this was something that I just put into my vortex or my intention box or my bathtub list last year, and I'm happy to say that I'm good. I'm a good comedian, especially for someone who basically just started in the new year. And it was my 6th time on stage, and I got lots of laughs, which is so good because laughter is my favorite sound in life. So I'm going to give myself some kudos on that because standing on your feet for 4 hours doing 2 sets, Dr. Tiffany, I have a new respect for comedians.
Laughter is wonderful medicine. It's great medicine. It's good for the soul, and joy is just fabulous. So,
Yeah,
excellent job for lifting people's spirits.
thank you. And that's it for breakfast with Dr. Marissa and
Dr. Tiffanie Tate.
here on Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show, and our very special Wednesday series called Doctors in the House with myself and
Dr. Tiffanie Tate.
And now it is time for the topic of the day, which is Dr. Tiffany.
What's love got to do with it? What is
What's
love?
love got to do with it? What's love but a
Secondhand emotion, people. Yeah.
we are gonna obviously, this is the season for SAD, Single Awareness Day. It is Valentine's season. I think when this airs, it'll have passed, but we absolutely want to keep it like our birthdays in our forefront for the month. So we're gonna focus on love. So what would you like to say about love?
Yeah. Basically, most people look at the whole month of February as the month of love because people either take trips or they don't just celebrate Valentine's Day on the 14th. They celebrate it essentially during that month. So, as a physician, as a scientist, I like to look at things scientifically. What is love and how do you do it? How do you carry it out? So let's look at it, let's dissect it, and let's evaluate it. And so I wanted to start with um, with a quick little poem because I'm a poet. So from my book, Flowetry, 108 Poetic Flows of Life, Love, and Liturgical Issues. It's just really short. Love, question mark. How can you say that you love your fellow man when you won't take the time to lend a helping hand? A hand to help people out of poverty. For one of the richest nations in the world, it's a travesty. The mighty dollar says, "In God we trust." Yet we abandoned the word of God for worldly lust, longing for riches, power, and fame. It's just a distraction. So don't fall victim to the game. If we focus on God and His will, everything will be all right if we just keep still. So, what is love? How do you define love, Dr. Marissa?
Love is grand. Divorce is 100 grand or more.
Yeah, definitely more for me.
And me. And
Yeah.
me.
Yes, yes.
Uh, but I couldn't say 100 million, thank God. But yeah.
Yes.
Anyways, love is a feeling. Love is a verb. The way that your poem expressed it, it's an action. It's not enough to say it. It is in theory unconditional, or you try for it, but it's my BS, my belief system that humans are not capable of unconditional love because we're human.
Mhm.
And you're going to love some people more than others, or you'll have conditions. If you do this, I will love you. If you say this, I will love you. If you don't say this, I will love you. The only thing sentient being on the planet that I believe is capable of unconditional love is a dog. Unconditional dog is how I call them because of that that ability to love no matter what, unconditional love no matter what the condition is. So
Mhm.
that's love.
So, okay. So, I like to look things up. And when I looked it up, basically they described love as an attachment, basically a closeness. So when you say you love someone, usually you are attached to them or you affiliate a closeness with someone. And it can be expressed in lots of different ways. And we see that in different relationships that we have. That's how we express our love through words, like you said, through actions, through time spent together. So
Mm,
if you say you love someone, you usually demonstrate it with the time you spend, either with talking or with physical time. Because if you have a long distance relationship, it's usually with time spent on the phone, or if you're in the same city, with time spent together. If you're married, you live together. So there's different things, there's different characteristics of love. They broke it down with intimacy, with passion, and with commitment. Most people are familiar with intimacy, a feeling of closeness either by physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual, right? So,
okay. Is there a difference between love and lust?
yes, because then you're looking at passion. So when you have the passion there, there's like a strong emotional, a strong emotional commitment. Lust is just that physical component. There's not that emotional component. So you don't have that connection. There's just the physical bodies coming together without the sentiment. And if you don't have that sentimental connection, it's like just paying for a transactional interaction per se to try to keep it
Mhm.
clean for other reasons.
Okay.
And there's no commitment with lust.
All right. Can you love someone and then fall out of love?
Well, there's the scientific reason, and then there's the Tiffany version.
Okay.
Now, this is my perspective. Love is I look at this is gonna be crazy. I
Okay.
look at love kind of like dust and dirt. You can kick it up and it flows around and then it might settle, and you can kick it up again. It never really goes away. It can kind of settle down and flurry and settle down and flurry and settle down and flurry. So it's always there. It just kind of ebbs and flows. Okay.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay, that I've never seen Love Like Dirt before, but I can entertain that.
Can you
I can,
visualize it
yeah,
though?
I can totally visualize it. Yeah. So another adage is love hurts. So does all romantic, since this is the season, i- uh, is does love always hurt?
I don't think it should always hurt. I think love can potentially be painful because sometimes people have traumatic pasts and they don't necessarily know how to process their pain, and they
Mhm,
don't know how to process their relationships, and they don't know how to communicate, especially if they have not sought to heal their trauma. And that's when it's best to seek a counselor, not necessarily whether it's friends, whether it's therapy, but sometimes it's necessary to process the pain from previous relationships, because
mhm,
if they don't process the pain from previous relationships, they're going to carry that trauma into their next relationship, and that person that they're with now is going to pay the price from all the trauma of the previous relationships, and they're not going to have a healthy relationship. So they're going to be looking at the person that they're with a side eye,
mhm.
and that new relationship is going to struggle at some point. So there's going to be pain within that person, but the new person isn't going to understand why. So they're going to be constantly trying to appease that person who's coming in with that pain. And they're not really going to understand why they're overdoing it, trying to, like you said, when you have the two people and you come in, you have this person who's coming in tattered, beaten, with a heart that's bruised, and this person is overdoing it, saying, I love you, I love you, I love you. And this person's like, well, I kind of love you. But this person's like, no, I really do. And so they're trying to be that umbrella love. But this person is like, well, I'm guarded. I love you. But, and so it makes for an unbalanced relationship.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Couple things that came up as you were speaking. One is that, oh, I forgot the first one already. The second one is I was in that situation myself, and I had forgotten this. I haven't thought about this in decades, but the first time that I told my husband that I love you and said those 3 words, his response was, I don't love you yet. I want to bang my head on the mic. like like this was before we got married, so it's just speaking to that not healed part, even if you're the perpetrator on this side of overextending. And I love that you're using my hand thing, because it's just, I taught this to my kids too. It's such a great way to see, am I balanced or not in the giving that I am for the other person, or am I doing all the work, and why am I doing all the work? And I can speak for myself, is I was used to doing all the work because I grew up like that. I was not enough, and therefore I overcompensated all the time for people because I didn't think I was worthy of having someone meet me in the middle. So I was always doing that. And I remember the first thing that I wanted to say, which is love, and first love and intense, passionate love is such a blessing and a curse too, because I have people that come to me for relationship coaching who men in particular who had someone break their heart, and I asked them how long ago, and they're like 40 years of age, and so 30 or 20 some years ago, or if they're in their 50s, the fact that that first passionate love betrayed them, abandoned them, hurt them, was so powerful that they were carrying that and letting that affect every single intimate relationship since, to be a horrible relationship, living in that fear that it was going to happen again. So it's both answering that question, what is it, the strength of that, this thing called love is really, I said, you're going to let something that hurt that long ago continue to influence you showing up as a partner for the rest of your life? Do you not want a healthy relationship? And the response is usually, I don't know what that looks like. And I'm not going to take that chance because it hurts so bad. So the power of love to hurt is really one of those, wow, it always amazes me, but it is happens a lot more often than I thought it would.
Absolutely. And it's a travesty because if you take the time to heal before you enter a relationship, or even if you're in a relationship and you're with someone who's patient with you, if you seek healing and while you're in the relationship, the most important thing is that you process your pain, because if you don't, you end up in this cycle where you just continue to get hurt and you hurt other people in the process.
Mhm.
And if you want a healthy relationship, you have to communicate. And the problem is when you're in pain, you tend to shut down.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. It is the four-letter word we're talking about today here on Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show. And today's special series is Doctors in the House with myself
Dr. Tiffanie Tate.
and we love it when you have questions or comments or your own BS belief systems around the topic. It is love today for obvious reasons. We're talking about all facets of love and the power of love and the negative power of love with the love hurts. And in the name of love, I wanted to talk about that a little bit, Dr. Tiffanie, that people misuse love as a reason to try to control or influence or punish, or as the reason they do the things they do. And I'm thinking right now of war. War is, because in the old days with religion as well, in the name of love, we're going to kill you. In the name of love, we're going to cleanse. In the name of love, we're going to separate you out and punish. And I just want to take a stand that when anyone uses their definition of love against others, that is not love in my book.
Mhm.
In my book, because that love is such an important concept to me, because I believe that we all are love fundamentally. That is our nature. That is our being. That is the core of who we are, is love. We come and are born out of love, that love energy. And it's not a religious thing. It is a spiritual thing for me. I know that I came from love and I live in this life and I am 80% successful in loving, and then I return into love. When I die, I'm not gone. I just return into that full quantum energy grid called love. And
Mhm.
so it's so important that I remember that, so that when people are acting in ways that are not loving, I cannot take it personally as much as I would if I didn't believe that. And
Yeah.
that's why I have no fear of death too.
Yeah. And they say that love is one of the most important human emotions because it drives almost everything we do. Intimacy, passion, commitment, because it's involved in all of our relationships, spouse, children's, friend, pets. It helps spur so many sections of our relationships and society. And for us to interact with one another, we have to love ourselves, we have to love one another. And love is patient, love is kind, love is understanding. And we really need to dissect love. And like Dr. Marissa said, like I said earlier, love is an action word. Love is a verb. And
Yeah.
it's something that we need to do on a day-to-day basis. And we really need to walk the walk. We need to talk the talk.
Absolutely. And this is a good time for us to pause for station ID, news, weather, traffic on my NBC News Radio channel KCAA. So we'll be right back after a word from our sponsor as well. It's all about we'll be back in 2 and 2. I forgot what time it was. And Chuck Wooler used to say 2 minutes, but we'll be back before that. Peace in and peace out. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pei.
Hi, my name is Dr. Tiffanie Tate, and I am the author of multiple children's books. The first is Little Engine Mia Sings. It teaches children about bullying. You can pick these books up on Amazon as well as Barnes and Noble. The next is a book called Bad Touching. It is a very informative book. It is a story about two sisters, Lily and Linda, and they learn about good touching as well as bad touching, how to speak up and speak out. It too is available on Amazon as well as Barnes and Noble. My latest book is Money Matters. It teaches children about saving, tithing, as well as investing. All of these books can be found on Barnes & Noble as well as Amazon. Please check them out today. You can also visit my website at www.drtiffanie.com. You can check out all of my books, purchase them there, or at Amazon as well as Barnes & Noble. Pick them up today for you or your children. You will not be disappointed. Thank you.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pei.
And welcome back. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News Radio, home to the Asian Oprah, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, and of course my YouTube TV channel. Free subscribe. Give me the finger because I'm here every weekday morning to help you with more hope and happiness with topics, guests, and of course, beautiful co-hosts who helped me with that. And please visit her website, drtiffanytate.com, to get any one of her books. They're all fabulous. My favorite one is the Bad Touching one. But also I wanted to invite you to, I will be taking my Happy 88 mission to the San Gabriel Valley book signing. I have written an article. I've been asked to be the featured columnist in a publication out of Beverly Hills Art, and it's the ACCA Art Journal. And we're going to have a giant release party. It's free. So, Dr. Tiffanie, that's not too far from you. It's certainly closer than Long Beach. Saturday, 2 to 5. And it's part of LA. Also, this is the week for art. It's an art show. And if you missed my interview with them for Tuesday Talent, Maya Ito and Carlos Benitez, who is the artist curator and publisher of this great thing. And you'll see my article on attracting happiness, relationships, and such. So that is this Saturday. I wanted to invite you. And we're talking about love today. It is the month of love, not necessarily the flowers and the chocolate, although I'm still here. It's unfortunately, I thought I might have lined up something this year because I've started dating again, but it doesn't look like it. So one more SAD, Single Awareness Day. I'm going to spend it with a girlfriend. We're going to get a Korean scrub, or the Korean massage that I don't know if you've ever tried that, Dr. Tiffanie. It's lovely. It's kind of gross because you see all your dead skin all over, but it is definitely a loving yourself activity. But flowers, let's talk about expressions of love. And I did have the guy, I'm going to forget his name, come and talk about love languages. And it is interesting how different people define love, and what is the most important thing about the way that you show your love. That's my question.
Okay. Well, I looked up one person, and there's a psychologist named Zick Rubin, and he said romantic love is made up of 3 elements. They are attachment, caring, and intimacy. And attachment is when you need the other person, or you desire to be with the other person. You want their physical contact and approval. So that's the attachment component. And caring, you're valuing the other person's happiness. You want their happiness, and you need your own happiness is entangled with theirs. So I thought that was interesting. And then intimacy, you're sharing private thoughts and feelings and desires with them. So that composes your romantic love. I was like, okay, when you're in a relationship, those 3 things are essential. So while people tend to view other people they like as pleasant, and you're like, okay, my friend, she's nice to be around. When you're in love, you are it's a mark of being devoted to that other person. And there's a component of being possessive, like, okay, they belong to me, I belong to them. We're in a relationship kind of thing. And I think that distinguishes between that lust component, because there's a detachment with that. There's not that relationship component when there's that lust relationship, because you don't have a relationship essentially usually when there's just lust. It's just hit it and quit it kind of thing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. That I just looked him up, and it's interesting. He's one of the pioneers of actually measuring love, which is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever take a test on what your love language is?
Yes, my love language is quality time.
Interesting. So the 5 are acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, words of affirmation, and physical touch. And we're not going to take time to do the quiz today, but you should, one of those words or 2 of those phrases are going to be you'll resonate with them. So when you think about, so obviously the fact that I bemoan the fact that I've I don't think I had one flowers given to me on
Oh, wait, Dr. Marissa, what's your love language?
well, that's what I'm talking about right now.
No,
So
have you taken it before?
yeah, I've taken it before. I have great memory, but I have horrible recall. So I'm not sure exactly what I was,
Okay.
but
But
obviously because I want flowers, what do you think that is?
so gifts,
Yeah,
receiving gifts.
yeah,
But I think a lot of times you're not just one, you're kind of like a mixture
yeah.
because I think I was a mixture. My primary is quality time because if I don't get my time, I'm really irritated.
Uh-huh.
I need
Like,
to be
what do
made
you
a
mean by
priority.
time?
I want to be made a priority. I think that's very important to me. I need to be prioritized
Okay. So, um,
in a relationship. I
I
need
had
to.
one bouquet of flowers given to me by my niece, but I've never had a guy give me flowers on Valentine's. The one time I asked for it when I was dating this guy who was in San Francisco, he refused to give me the flowers because he said that that was like too not materialistic, too commercial. And I said, "Well, but I like it." And he said, "Nope, you never." So obviously, we're not together anymore. I posted this so that we could sort of look at it together. Um, so receiving gifts would probably be. What would you say, Dr. Tiffany, if I love the words that my daughters put in cards more so than the gift?
Words of affirmation.
Okay. Okay.
So
And
you're probably a mixture between the gifts and the words of affirmation. And it's
well,
okay to be a mixture.
physical touch is good though.
Yeah,
Like I mean,
you want a hodgepodge. And it's okay to want it all. And
I
you
tr-
can rank the things that you want because I mean, we're women. We can want it all. And I do. I do want it all. Don't get me wrong. I
yeah.
want it all. But I think I have my hierarchy of what I want. And
So
quality time
acts of
is number
service.
one.
Oh, quality time is number one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
quality
that's
time is just
definitely
number one
not
for
my
me.
number one. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out if I really want to have a romantic relationship because I would lose out some of my time, my independent time. So I think that goes on the bottom. Maybe I can just take that language out altogether and only choose from four. How's that sound?
So you want to, and it's okay to not rank quality time at all. It doesn't have to be on your list. You can just be like, okay,
Yeah, I think
I
I'm gonna take
want.
out acts of service and quality time and just leave it to receiving gifts, words of affirmation, and physical touch. That's what I'm gonna do.
Oh no, I want acts of
Ah,
service. I want them to put up stuff on the walls and help around the house. I want all that good stuff.
oh, that's what
I
cleaning.
want help.
That's what a housekeeper's for. Anyways, all right. I'm sure you have other stuff that you wanted to define.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yes.
yes. Absolutely,
Love
absolutely.
is the topic.
So there was also it was also broken down to the different types of love, from friendship. We know general friendship that involves just sharing and liking someone on a platonic level without any degree of intimacy. Then there's infatuation, when the intense feelings of attraction. Then there's the passionate love, marked by intense feeling and longing of attraction between people. And then there's compassionate companion love, when you have intense trust, affection, and intimacy and commitment. And so, um, and then there's the unrequited love, which is kind of what you had in the beginning with your husband when you loved him and he was like, I'm not there yet.
Oh, that
Where,
lasted the whole sentence. My 9.2 years of that
oh,
lasted the whole time. That wasn't just before. But as someone so wisely pointed out, when I was complaining about how emotionally unavailable he was, she said to me, "So when did you discover that he was emotionally unavailable? Before or after you got married?" I said, "Way before I got married." And she said, "Well, then who is more emotionally unavailable?" And I went, "Whoa, that one hit, man. I am, because otherwise I wouldn't have picked him." Right? So
Yeah.
that was something. I wanted to talk about love. The opposite of love is not hate. I did a talk on this long, long time ago. I forgot that.
Ambivalent.
Yes, indifference is actually the opposite of love,
Mhm.
and the opposite of hate is indifference. And so when you forgive someone, or when you are done with someone and that relationship, the tendency is to badmouth them. I should have seen the signs. They didn't live up to their, potential. They didn't live up to their promises. But really, that means they still are living rent free in your head. They're still hooking you in, because that feeling of I hate them, blame, shame is not the opposite of love. So when you become able to see something that triggers you and just go, okay, it was just not a match anymore, and it's okay, and God bless him or God bless her, not in the Southern way, but actually wanting the best for them, that you learned a lot in that relationship. You had great
Mhm.
things that happened, but now you release them in indifference. Not that you don't care, but you're not triggered every time. If we
Mhm.
had everybody do that, there would be world peace.
Yeah, I agree. And see, what happens for me is that when I emotionally check out, I literally check out. It's like, no offense, I don't think about you. I don't want to know what you're doing. I don't follow your social media. I I'm gone. I'm like done, 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 done. And I'm not looking at your family's pages. I don't
Yeah,
want to know what you're doing.
yeah,
Stick
yeah.
a stick a fork in me.
Right.
I'm completely cooked. I am done. Um, unless somebody tells me, "Hey, this is what's going on with so and so." Okay, that's nice. But
Mhm.
yes, I'm not trolling you. I'm not scrolling you. I don't wanna know. I don't wanna know at all. So, God bless you. You can kick rocks because whatever you do, do you, boo.
Yeah,
Um,
I call it the art of neglect. And it's a skill, because we choose unhappiness sometimes. If you know you're unhappy when you're looking at something or someone, the tendency is to keep looking there and then talking about it and then complaining about it. And you will never get the happiness on the other side if you continue to focus on things that you don't like.
well,
And
I would look at it this way, Dr. Marissa. How can you go forward if you're constantly looking backward?
back. That's a great, yeah. My analogy on that is when you're swimming, right? You're still hanging on to the edge and looking this way. If you really want to move forward, you got to turn your assets around and swim
Mhm,
that way. You can every once in a while in a front stroke, you can look back, but your momentum is that way. So hopefully that analogy will help too. Which way are you going when it
mhm,
comes to I want the next chapter in my book of romance. I'm open to it.
mhm.
Uh,
Absolutely.
I
And
just
if you
said
wanna
that
go
in
back
my mind. My mind is like, really?
yeah, and if you wanna go back and get, but don't straddle the fence.
Yeah. Oh boy, we're going there. All these visuals now are quite
Yeah. There's a
titillating.
reason that person is your ex. Remember that, brain, remember that.
Yeah, yeah. It's it reminds me of that saying, if you love someone, let them go. And if they come back, they're yours. And if they don't come back, they never were. So my version of that is, if you love someone, let them go. And if they don't come back, go hunt them down and shoot them.
Well, there was a meme that says, it says, there's a if you don't believe I can do crazy things, just look at my ex.
That's a large interpretation there. Ah, all right. What else about love, Dr. Tiffany?
Okay. So, since we just went there, some of the potential pitfalls of experiencing love. So the pitfalls of love, since I went the crazy things. Uh, and so just joking,
Yes.
people like used toys. Anxiety, depression, increased stress, jealousy, obsessiveness, possessiveness, and sadness. So, a lot of times when you go through a breakup, you go through these issues. But a lot of times, if you're happy with your breakup, you can go through joy and you can move forward and you can end up in a happier relationship.
Mhm.
So it's okay. Like we said, you can move forward because even though it's Single Awareness Day, you might meet someone new and have a better relationship and blossom into something more beautiful. So
Mhm.
let's be optimistic. And remember, everybody's not single this month. Some people are happy and enjoying this month of love. So, congratulations, you guys who are happy and enjoying your beauty and your love. Woohoo to you.
Fork you. I'm just kidding. Um, yeah, love. Gosh, every time I want.
Love by
Okay.
humbug.
Love not hate. I was just about to say, I've actually gotten hooked on the Love Is Blind
Oh, yes.
series.
Yes, it is.
I
It's good.
love
Yes.
that series because I could actually be moved to tears when they, fall in love sight unseen through a wall, because they're having conversations and they are able to be themselves or to share and connect on a soul level, maybe, or at least not on a not visual. But the reality of that to me sometimes is, you may feel like you are in love. Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about. What's the difference between falling in love, being in love? I that expression, I love you, but I'm not in love with you, which I thought
Yeah.
was horse shiitake at the beginning, because that distinction. But I think it's a reference to the kind of love you mentioned earlier, Dr. Tiffany, whether it has that intimacy, passionate, make your toes curl kind of reference versus a comfortable
Mhm.
love that is more about companionship. But honestly, don't you have to have both in order for a relationship to be um, a good relationship?
Yeah, you need a component of friendship for it to really last because I really I know I said dirt, but I also look at love like a roller coaster. It is going to have its ups and downs, and you really need a friend when it's going to have its down. You have to realize you're not going to spend 24 hours in the bed. That's just the reality of it. You're going to spend most of your time just in that person's company,
Mhm,
and you're going to spend that time walking, talking, just enjoying yourselves.
mhm.
Yes, it would be great to have your toes curled and to have that, "Oh, when Harry met Sally" moment.
Yeah.
But the reality is you need to just enjoy each other's company, and for
Mhm.
that, you're going to need a friend,
Yeah.
and for that, you really need to be able to talk to that person, walk with that person, and just enjoy being around that person. So you really need to like that person, and if you don't like that person, God bless you.
Yeah, God bless you, and God bless that. When people ask me all the time, what is a definition of a good love relationship? I ask them 80% of the time, are you happy in that relationship? And if they say yes, and then continue to complain about the 20%, then that's not 80% because you're focused on things that are, the imperfect part of them. And so, after some coaching, I can remember a couple in particular, and it was the woman who was constantly complaining this and that and this, although she said, I love him 80%. At the by the end of the 8 weeks, I said to her, if you can't stop complaining about that 20%, let him go, because it's really not love to constantly be criticizing him. Whatever it is, let them be with someone who values them
Mhm.
80% of the time. Let him go. If you really love him, you let him go to be with someone who isn't always unhappy with him. And that really, sat in my mind. So, final word.
Final word. If you and your partner are not happy with one another, maybe you should be with different people, because love is not superficial. Love is not based on physical characteristics. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is understanding. Love is spiritual. Love is intimate. And love is a soul to soul thing. May you remember to be understanding and to communicate with your partner. And I hope you remember to love one another this month, because this is the month of communication. This is the month of love. This is the month of understanding. And not just with your partner, with everyone you meet, everyone on the street.
Love is in the air. And my final word is, um, I'm going to do a commercial for love, because it's a kind of feeling that you just don't get with everyone else, that romantic love. Even though I thought about giving up, I've been single for a year and wanting to date after 7 years of nothing. And I was going to call it quits, but I'm going to do this commercial for me, that feeling of toes curling and that feeling of passionate love is something you cannot get from anyone else. So I'm going to be open, at least for the rest of the month, to that feeling, that romantic feeling of love. So if you're single and you like what you're looking at, please respond to Dr. Tiffany. She'll do the first screening. It's all about balance. Dr. Tiffany. Peace in, peace out. World peace through inner peace. Take us out, Dr. Tiffany.
Now go and have the best day ever.
Thanks, Dr. Tiffany. Always a pleasure and a fun time with you.